Still got this weird cut on my nose. It's so weird. How are you, everyone? How is everyone? Can you hear me? I always start. How many live streams start with people saying, "Can you hear me?" or "Can you hear me?" or this. I'm just gonna wait for a few more people to come in. Just gonna wait for a few more people. Can you guys hear me? How many live streams start like that? All of them. Guys, cold here today. Cold in Los Angeles. Hi, Rosine. Good. You? I'm good. Yeah, I am good. Hi, Katie. Hope you're good too. Good morning, Eleanor. Good morning, Marianne. Good morning, Jodes. Hi, Ali. Hi, Megan. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Dorothy. Hi, Trina Bell. Hi, Nicole. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Diane. How's everyone doing? Well, I was going to talk about, I wanted to check in because we did, Laura did my podcast, which is going to be going up tomorrow. And I did Laura's podcast, which should be up now. So I wanted to tell you guys to go and see it on YouTube, but it's not up, which is a shame. But my podcast will be up tomorrow, 10 a.m. Laura on my podcast. I did an interview yesterday. I wanted to do interviews for a long time. Remember, I was talking to you about how I wanted to go out of my comfort zone. Well, the first step for that for me is doing interviews. And I set up a whole podcast studio on my own because I'm obsessive and I don't have a lot of time on my hands. So I set up this whole podcast studio to do interviews. And then I was like, who am I gonna have for my first interview? I don't want it to be, someone that I don't know in case it goes wrong or in case there's a problem because it's the first one. And I thought, wait, Laura. So tomorrow, Laura, my first guest on my podcast. Crazy. It's kind of it's uncomfortable. It's an uncomfortable interview, but I think it's good. I think it's talking about it. Oh, where will your podcast be? It's on YouTube. My podcast is on YouTube. I release a video on YouTube every day, 10 a.m. and 10 a.m. on YouTube. And then once a week, that video is a podcast, which is going to be various people. I've got a lot of people that I've met through this whole experience of getting well. I've met a lot of interesting people, a lot of people who are also crazy stories, People have got crazy stories. That's one thing I've realized. People, there's more to people than you first think when you meet them. And I've met a lot of very, very interesting people with a lot of incredible stories. And I wanted to interview them on my podcast. Dude, you really just need to be positive. Here you go. Snap the frick out of it, man. This is the kind of comment that's really helpful for people who are struggling with mental health. Thanks, Jonathan. I never thought of that. Just snap out of it. Wow, I'm better. Guys, Jonathan's just solved mental health. Snap out of it. Of course. Why didn't I think of that? Snap out of it. That's what I needed to. Wow, I'm going to make $1 billion off this. I'm going to steal Jonathan's mental health treatment plan and I am going to use it to cure the world of mental health problems. And my theory is snap out of it. I'm going to get everyone who's got mental health. I'm going to get them in a room and I'm going to give them this golden advice. Snap out of it. Oh, here's another one. Just smile already. Another one. That's another bit of great. Wow. Hannah and Jonathan, get together. You guys should write a book about getting over mental health struggles. I'm sure you're being sarcastic, Hannah. It is funny, though, isn't it? Yeah. My husband and I are going through a separation. It's really tough. When Jonathan breaks his leg, he can walk it off. Yeah, Jonathan, if you break a leg, just walk it off. take your clothes off and run around. Is that a cure? Is that a mental health bit of mental health advice? I know you were being sarky, Hannah. I thought it was funny, but I just thought it was also funny to put it on the screen. Hands up if someone has told you to snap out of it whilst living with depression. The amount of times I've been told to snap out of it, especially online, especially on Facebook. Look, I've got, I don't know what happened. Like, I went to sleep one night, I woke up and there's blood all over my sheets. And this, I don't even know what I did. So yeah, this is super interesting. Super interesting 2 episodes. I'm on Laura's podcast and she's on my podcast. My one drops tomorrow. I was gonna tell you about Laura's because it was supposed to be up, but I can't see it, so I can't tell you about it. Oh yes. So yeah, Laura's last video, Stephen and I. It's us, and then tomorrow is gonna be my one. Both of them are interesting, difficult to shoot and difficult to probably watch some of it, but we shall see. Yeah, I'm gonna. So yeah, it was something I wanted to do for a long time because it's out of my comfort zone to talk to people in real life. So I thought the end goal is for me to go out and speak to people in the world, but that seems to be taking a little bit more to put together with flights and hotels and stuff like that. And I'm starting my new company from nothing, so I needed an easier thing that I could start straight away. And I thought interview podcast is still out of my comfort zone. It's still something that is scary to me. So that's what I'm going to do. And my first guest is Laura. And I'm going to have a few more guests on because I met so many interesting people. The journey since it's 3 months since I tried to off myself on Friday. It'll be 3 months. And it's been one of the most traumatic, but also interesting 3 months of my life. And I've met a lot of people, a lot of interesting people. Okay, please read. I hope you're able to see this. It's very important that I let you know that you have to gain your power back. Laura knows who she married, and she also knows that recidivism rate is very high for alcoholics. I haven't had a drink for 19 years. I think being separated is horrible for your children. Laura needs to stop thinking about herself and think about her children. I think you need to go back into the house, whether you're together or not, and pretend to be a loving family for the sake of your kids. So pretending and lying to our kids does not seem like a good idea at all. It seems like the worst idea in the world. And it seems like that's something that would set them up for mental health issues in their later years. To imagine living with 2 parents who pretended to be together but really weren't. That doesn't sound good at all. That sounds like the worst idea. Hi, Maria Piddock from Kent. Kids will see that, and kids will see that. Hold on, kids will see that, and people. Everyone's sort of saying that's a bad idea. Kids are not dumb. That's right. Kids aren't dumb. Yeah. What's up with the deadbeats that stole your music? Okay, so I'm speaking to some lawyers about that right now. They didn't steal it. They stole 2/3 of it. So they put themselves down as writers on my music when they didn't have anything to do with it. They weren't even in the studio. I did it. I do everything myself, but they knew I was on drugs, so they thought they could get away with it. But then I saw the writing credits. So yes, this horrible advice. Yeah, it's so true. I don't think that's good advice at all. I mean, not to be horrible. How's your 90 meetings in 90 days going? On Carly, on Friday, I'll have done it. I haven't missed a meeting. at all. And on days that I didn't go, I went to 2 the next day or the next week. So I've done 89 meetings in 89 days. No, 88. So if I go to one, I'm going to be going to one in an hour. That's 89. And tomorrow is 90. Yeah. So people not into that advice. So yeah, you can see Laura's first. So we did like 2 hours of talking to each other. Laura's is the first one to go up, which is today. So go over to Laura's YouTube, Laura Clary on YouTube, and go and check it out. I haven't watched it. I will probably watch it, or will I? I don't know. I have been editing my one, and it's good. It's good. It's not comfortable, some of it, but it's good. But yeah, it's a super interesting little series. Mine will be up tomorrow. Laura's is up today. So yeah, why don't you pop over and have a look and tell me what you think? I'm just reading comments. Stay in the present one day at a time. How is that new music clip coming to us? Well, I make new music every single week for Patreon. So if you're a Patreon subscriber, you get a new piece of music every week. So I'm halfway through. I tend to write my Patreon pieces from like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then I finish them on Thursday, and then I release them on Thursday. So my new piece, the piece I'm releasing on Patreon today is a piece of music specially designed for focus, which I've never done before. So it's going to be interesting, I think. It's specially designed. Yeah. So the binaural beats are at a different frequency, and the frequencies I'm using in the piece are different, and it's designed for focus, energy, studying, work, that kind of thing. A lot of people ask me to do something like that, so this is what today's is. So yeah, patreon.com/Stephen Hilton. That's my Patreon. You can go and check that out. How much sober time have you got? Right. Okay. So I've got 18 years sober from alcohol and street drugs like heroin, cocaine, ecstasy. 18 years off that stuff, and I relapsed on prescription pills. Percocet, Vicodin, Ambien, Xanax, and I've got 8 years back from that. So yeah. So I've got if you want to be like very, very proper about it, I've got 8 years sober, but I've got 18 years sober off the hard stuff. Well, I say the hard stuff. 12-step advice. 12-step advice is go to a meeting, find someone you like, and ask them to take you through the 12 steps. Because you can't do it on your own, really. You can't sponsor yourself. So, do you have an email we can reach you on, or just YouTube? I'm sorting that out as we speak. I'm putting together a whole new company that I started in the last month. So all coming off the ground. I'm going to have email, going to have a way to contact me, everything. It's probably be set up by the end of the week. Watching Alfie play the piano was incredible, wasn't it? It was just crazy to see him singing. Does Stephen read only Patreon comments or all comments? I can't see Patreon comments on my live stream. This is just all the comments. But I'm going to start going live on Patreon, and then I'll be able to answer your comments on Patreon. I need focus on my study, so please hurry up and release it. Nor Isa, you have to be on my Patreon though to get it. It's music for focus and study, specially designed for that, and it's a Patreon exclusive. It's going to be released when I finish it today, probably around 3 or 4 p.m. my time. I'll put it up, and it's good. I think it really works. I don't know what messages he can read and he can't. I see all the messages on my computer here, and there's so many, so I don't read them all, but I try my best. Yeah, Stacey. So go and sign up to the Patreon because I'm going to be doing more music for Focus. I'm going to be doing more music for Focus and Energy. The Patreon is excellent. Thank you, Sheila. Yeah, it's really good little community. I'm really enjoying it over there, and it's amazing to it's an amazing discipline and distraction to be writing a piece of music every single week. It's a lot. It's a lot that I've taken on, but I'm doing it, and I haven't missed a week, and I don't plan to. So, do you have music for calming situation or panic attacks? Most of my music is designed for deep relaxation, so most of my music will work on panic attacks. And I think I think the best one for calming down is Alfie spelled backwards. It's EIFLA. It's called EIFLA. It's on Spotify. It's on YouTube. That's a really good one for relaxing, I think. When do we ever stop struggling in life? That's a good question. I have noticed, though, that I tend to grow when I'm struggling. I don't tend to grow when things are going well. It's so annoying. I wish I did. But I definitely think that struggling, I'm not going to say that it makes, I don't want to say that struggling is a good thing, but the silver lining of struggling is that it's where I tend to grow spiritually when I'm struggling. I don't tend to grow spiritually when I'm in a good place, which is weird. I don't know why that is, but what is the problem with Laura's podcast? Nothing. I'm just saying that I'm on Laura's podcast today, and she's on my podcast tomorrow if I can get it edited today. So how much is okay? Jennifer Lopez, is that the real Jennifer Lopez? Whoa. Jennifer Lopez wants to know how much the music is a Patreon. Patreon's 2 tiers, $4.99 and $9.99, and you get different things on different tiers. But both tiers get the exclusive music every week and exclusive videos every week. So go and check it out. Go and check it out. You'll see the different benefits of different. You'll see the different tiers and what you get for the different tiers. What happened to you now? I know. I went to bed one night. I woke up and there's blood all over my sheets and this cut. I don't know how it happened. I think we need to stop labeling everything in life in terms of good and bad. They're just different experiences and experiences that help us evolve. It's a good way of looking at it. Watching the podcast now. Definitely going to check out your Patreon. Sounds great. Great. It's Patreon, Patreon. But yeah, it is great. It is great. I'm really proud of it. I've done a lot of really good music there. That's the one that's good for. That's the one I'm talking about. That's really good for panic attacks. How did you overcome panic overeating? How did you overcome binge eating? I steer clear of refined sugar and refined flour. That really helps me. My son is nonverbal. Do you have any advice on encouraging parents with nonverbal kids? Posters? Parents? Alfie was nonverbal for a while, and what really helped him, I believe, what really helped him was preschool. Music therapy and speech therapy were good, but I feel like he really started to develop when he was around other kids. And a lot of kids are delayed right now because the bloody masks and COVID. Everyone was like, oh. So how's a kid going to learn to talk? It's crazy. So there's a lot of kids struggling now because of that. Weird. So weird. I don't know about music level types. Your language. Oh, thank you. I'm glad that you love the music. Any thoughts on Aaron Carter's death? Now, I don't know. Aaron Carter wasn't really famous in England, so I'm not completely sure who he is. I've seen him around, and I don't know what he died of. I don't really know enough about his story to comment, but it's obviously it's very sad. Was it drug related? I feel like I saw him on like Steve O's sober person, and he's got a podcast that I sometimes have seen, and he was on that, and I thought that he looked like he might be struggling with drugs, but I don't know. I can't. Oh, okay, so it's Nick Carter's brother. Okay, so he's a musician as well. Wow. So he did die from huffing. What is huffing? Is that? See, that's a new thing. Since I got sober, I haven't been involved in the drug scene for 18 years. So huffing's something I don't even know what that is. But he was an addict. Oh my God, found in the bathtub. That is so sad, but unfortunately, it's all too common, especially with fentanyl. I wonder if it's fentanyl that killed him. A lot of drug addicts are dying of fentanyl right now. It's so toxic, that stuff, and it only takes a tiny amount to kill you. I love the music. It's hanging, truly relaxing. When I have a tense day, I just play it, immediately start to release tension. But that's the idea of the music. So thank you for saying that. I'm glad it's working. Oh, do you hate the uncertainty of separation? I hated the false hope big time. I hate it. I really, really hate it. Wow, people huffing aerosol spray. That's crazy. I mean, I've heard of huffing. I didn't know that's what it was. That's crazy. I'm sorry for his family. That's the main thing. Thoughts on Suboxone. A lot of people when I was in treatment this time in Los Angeles, a lot of people were on Suboxone. A lot of those people relapsed and some of them didn't. And I don't know if that's got anything to do with it. I've got no idea. I know it's like methadone, isn't it? It's a way to come off heroin. So my thoughts on Suboxone are, if you're taking it, you're not sober, but it's useful to take it to get sober. That's my thoughts on it. I don't think you could say you're sober if you're on it, but I feel like it can help you get sober. That's my thoughts. Have you ever heard about people curing addiction mental health with shrooms? I've been considering it. I haven't heard it ever working. I've heard a lot of people try it, but I haven't heard it working on anyone that's tried it that I know of. Your chant is great for putting my 15-month-old to sleep. Yeah, I love that. Oh my God, I love that. I really love that. What's your favorite memory from your marriage? Having Alfie and Poppy. Just reading comments. I'm not ignoring everyone. I'm reading the comments. How's we Alfie and Poppy? They're amazing. Do Alfie and Poppy have any favorites from their dad's music? Maria Petrosino, wait, you're on the Patreon. What I love about Patreon is I get to know everyone's names and I get to know the people. Maria is on my Patreon and I get to know people's names because the second tier, I shout out everyone every week. So I love that I get to know people's names. And when I see those people on other platforms, like on YouTube now, I'm seeing Maria, I know them from Patreon. So hi, Maria. Thank you for being a part of my Patreon. Alfie and Poppy. Alfie loves water music and Poppy loves For Laura. Those are their two favorites. Alfie has been obsessed with water music since he was like 18 months old. It really, whenever he's having a tantrum, it totally calms him down, which is great. I listen to your music while creating art. I love that. I love that so much. One of my favorite movies is Moulin Rouge. I yelled when I found out you were part of it. Thank you. Yeah, that was the first big film that I worked on. Yeah, the first. Was that the first film I worked on that was big? It was certainly the first time I ever traveled for work. They flew me out to Australia for 4 days when I was like 22. No, 22, 23. I'd never flown. I was from my mum and dad were not rich, very working class, come from a very working class background, didn't even finish high school. And then when I was 22, I was flown first class to Sydney, Australia to work on Moulin Rouge. It blew my mind. I couldn't believe what was happening. And I went out there and I worked on the Elephant Love Medley for 4 days. And then I continued to work on that piece of music for the next 3 months. Yeah, but I was very young. Baz Luhrmann was great to give me a chance on that. I'd only done like a couple of commercials and a couple of films that no one saw. So the fact that he had enough faith in me, 22 years old, to give me the Elephant Love Medley as well, which was a huge part of that film, I was really, I never forget that. That was a really nice thing. I feel like I piss you off. No, Louise. I'm sorry if people don't think I'm reading their comments. There's a lot of comments. Basically, the software I use to stream brings in the comments from Facebook and YouTube. So I feel like what's happening is people on YouTube are in the chat and they're only seeing like a third of the comments. So they're thinking that I'm ignoring them, but I'm not ignoring you. I promise. I've got I got comments from Facebook and YouTube. So I'm seeing many more comments than you guys are. So I'm sorry if it looks like I'm ignoring. I'm really not. I love you guys. Yeah, so go and watch Laura's video today, and part 2 is on my channel tomorrow, 10 a.m. I think I might go and watch it. I love you guys so much. It's getting dark. I love you guys so much. You're the best. Let's come back tomorrow, and you can watch part 2 of our interview series on my channel. I love you guys.